Now on CoastTV News.
Looking above from our coast copter, what the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore looks like right now.
We have new information on the cause of the crash. Meanwhile, the Coast Guard is still looking for missing people in the water.
We have the road detours now in place to get around the bridge area.
I'm Charlie Sakaitis in Ocean City. This is where Baltimoreans come in droves to vacation, but we were out here today to get their reaction to this catastrophe.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Here's a live look right now at the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. This is what we are seeing right now. The portion of the bridge still collapsed onto the cargo ship with no movement taking place. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Mallory Metzner. Charlie Sakaitis is on assignment. Welcome to our news at 6. We begin tonight with the ongoing coverage of a Baltimore landmark, the Francis Scott Key Bridge that collapsed overnight after being struck by a cargo ship.
CoastTV News has a timeline for you of what happened, statements from key officials, and what to look out for next. First, we begin with exactly what happened. The operators of the Dolly cargo ship issued a mayday call that the vessel had lost power moments before the crash. Despite losing power, the ship was approaching the bridge at a high speed, specifically 8 knots. That's approximately 9 miles per hour, according to Maryland Governor Wes Moore. The 985-foot ship strikes a bridge support, causing a section to collapse into the water. Immediately following the crash, the ship caught on fire, leading to thick black smoke coming out from it. At the time of the accident, the ship was under control of one or more local pilots. As the ship lost power, it lost its lights, and that happened multiple times. Here's a closer look at the Dolly's beginning and the bridge's end. From this map, you can see the Dolly cargo ship left the port of Baltimore around 12:45. It turned and headed southeast with possibly up to 10,000 containers. At 1:30 a.m., the Dolly hit one of the main bridge supports of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. From this video, you can see ship lights flash on and off. As the ship drifted towards the bridge, some of the ship's lights flickered. Shortly after impact, the bridge's south side collapsed, followed by the north side of the bridge. Ultimately, in just 6 seconds, the crash brought down the entire bridge.
2 people were saved after the bridge collapsed. That's according to Maryland's transportation secretary. But 6 construction workers who were fixing potholes on the bridge are still missing. Devices using sound waves found cars underwater in a spot that's 50 feet deep. The water was at 47 degrees early in the morning, according to a special water measuring buoy. There were several cars on the bridge when it fell, including a big truck.
And breaking news moments ago on this story, a senior executive at the company who employed the workers on the bridge says they are all presumed dead. The company believes the workers did not survive the water's depth or the length of time in the water. The boss said the workers were right in the middle of the bridge when it collapsed. One person remains hospitalized, that's according to shock trauma. Another person was discharged. Right now, the Coast Guard is still searching, hoping for any survivors in the water.
On scene, we currently have 3 small boats. We also have Coast Guard cutter Mako, an 87-foot patrol boat. We have a helicopter from Air Station Atlantic City.
And it's not just the Coast Guard. Numerous federal, state, and local rescuers are on scene.
The collapse could have been worse. That's according to Governor Wes Moore. He says the ship issued a mayday and it helped save lives.
But I have to say I'm thankful for the folks who once the warning came up and once notification came up that there was a mayday, who literally by being able to stop cars from coming over the bridge, these people are heroes. They saved lives last night.
Delaware Governor John Carney released a statement showing support to our Maryland neighbors. Governor Carney says his administration has been in touch with Governor Moore's team, and the state is ready to offer support and resources. The governor also saying, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with those killed in the collapse and their loved ones, as well as for the safety and well-being of the emergency responders who are on the scene."
The bridge collapse is causing big problems for the city's port, where ships come and go, affecting how goods are moved. All ship traffic into and out of the Port of Baltimore has been suspended until further notice, according to Maryland's Transportation Secretary. But the port still remains open to trucks. Shipping expert Lars Jensen, the CEO of Vespucci Maritime, says this is a big deal because now ships can't reach the port's areas where goods are loaded and unloaded. He says goods already at the port might be stuck there or need to be moved elsewhere.
As you can imagine, the bridge collapse also caused major traffic disruption in the Baltimore County area. The Maryland Department of Transportation has shut down parts of 695. Take a look at this map. This means drivers can't use some roads like Route 10 or Route 157 to get around. So if you're driving that area or know someone who is, you got to find a different way. The department suggests using tunnels like I-95 or I-895 instead. That might help some of that traffic, but the big trucks who carry items like propane, they can't go through those tunnels. It is a complicated issue. We have broken it down for you. You can find all those details on our website, CoastTV.com.
President Joe Biden plans to visit Baltimore soon following the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Biden intends for the federal government to fully cover the reconstruction costs. He made these remarks before leaving for North Carolina, emphasizing a joint effort to rebuild the port. Biden anticipates bipartisan support from lawmakers. He acknowledges the rebuilding process will take time, but assures ongoing support until the port and bridge are fully functional.
We now turn to Ocean City, the playground of Baltimore. Many people from the city visit this coastal town. Live in Ocean City is Coast TV News anchor Charlie Sakaitis. Charlie, the people you spoke with today were in shock over this collapse.
Guys, we've already gone through the video. People have seen that bridge come down. We've gone through what the governor had to say and what's going to happen next. But there's also a lot of emotion in this story, not only for the people that went through it, but for everyday people on the street. That's why we came down to Ocean City. We wanted to get reaction from people about how they felt and what happened today.
Just unbelievable how it fell. Just the domino of, and tragic.
I mean, it's been there my whole life. I have two daughters that live in the city. You know, I immediately checked to see where their locations were.
What do you do? I think that's the most feared thing by everybody, especially with us having the Bay Bridge and us being on the water and majority of our area being surrounded by water and so many bridges that channel into Ocean City and out of Ocean City and Baltimore. So it's scary.
Everybody seemed to have their own way of addressing what happened today. They used their own words, but it was all under the umbrella of shock. And that's an emotion that's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. From Ocean City, I'm Charlie Sakaitis for Coast TV News.
Now here's some history of the landmark bridge. Take a look here. You can see some photos of construction, which began 47 years ago in the 1970s. The bridge had an estimated cost of $110 million. The 1.6-mile bridge was built across the Patapsco River, stretching from Baltimore's Inner Harbor to the Chesapeake Bay. On average, about 30,000 cars would cross over this bridge each day. The bridge is named after the author of the Star-Spangled Banner. Now here at Coast TV News, all of our hearts are with the families affected by this horrible tragedy there in Baltimore. This is a very much developing story. We're with you. We'll stay with you. We will have full coverage on all of our platforms tonight at 11 and in the ongoing days.
Coastal flood days are on the rise along our coast. Our meteorologist Alex Seymour took a look at what's causing this rise and what we can expect in the future.
Water rushes through a dune breach on the north side of the Indian River Inlet Bridge. That's as a result of pounding surf and high water levels. Attempts were made to keep Route 1 clear of debris from the breach, much to no avail.
Route 1 northbound actually had to be closed for a period of time during the morning hours today, and that's all due to the fact that we had that dune breach north of the Indian River Inlet Bridge. That dune breach has been repaired, but more coastal flooding is on the way.
Scenes like we saw this morning are becoming more frequent along the Delaware coast due to rising seas from a combination of many factors. That includes melting glaciers, sinking land along our coast, expansion of waters as they warm, along with various other factors. Sea levels along Delaware's coast are rising at one of the fastest rates in the United States and globally.
We've experienced maybe 15, 16 inches or so over the past 100 years, 120 years.
Much of that rise has occurred in the past few decades as sea level rise speeds up. This has resulted in an increase of coastal flood days from less than 5 a year in the early 2000s to over 10 a year now, and that is forecast to rise on the low end of projections to as much as 60 days per year by 2050.
Sea level rise has now pushed those water levels to right where we kind of built our infrastructure, our community, our roads, the groundwater systems that we do from irrigation, etc. So we're at that point, right, where it's crossing the threshold a whole lot more.
Coastal flooding can now be seen during weak storms and full moons, like with today's flooding, where in the past it took major storms to cause flooding. In the future, it's going to be vitally important that we continue to build up our resiliency against this water rise as it becomes easier for major issues to arise similar to today's dune breach. I'm meteorologist Alex Seymour, Coast TV News.
And this brings us to our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know, how should communities handle coastal flooding? Let's take a look at the updated results.
Take a look at your screen. So far, a large majority are still saying fix natural buffers, like the dunes that Alex was just showing us there, though all these other options getting a little bit of the vote.
That's right, and that could still change throughout the evening. We'll check on that poll later tonight. If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttv.com or on our mobile app.
Let's take a live look right now at current conditions outside in Ocean City. A shot of the water there, a little ominous, as our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams says we have a lot of weather to look at tomorrow.
And it's all connected to rising water. Once again, all of this is coming in together as an amalgam of things that we really don't want to deal with. But now we have just been recently updated to a warning instead of just a watch throughout Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico, staying in effect until 9 o'clock. Now, when we say a coastal flood warning, we're saying that flooding is either happening now or that it's imminent at this time. Places like Athol, Royal Oak, Salisbury, Pittsfield, as well as Eden, Princess Anne, and Whiteburg. But not just there. We also have at least concerns for the possibility of flooding along with throughout all portions of Sussex. That stays in effect and a concern until 2 o'clock in the morning. And then in addition to that, the winds are not helping because we have the winds coming in out of the east. So that's going to push that water right onto the coast, and that's going to exacerbate the concerns and problems with flooding where we had the breach, but also along basically all the coastal fronts for all of Delmarva. Now, coming up, we actually have to add another layer of concern on top of that, being additional rain headed in our direction with the next storm. We'll talk about that in detail coming up in a moment. Till then, back to you, Mallory.
Paul, a big vote tonight for the future of the Cape and Lopin schools is the talk of the town along the coast. It's looking to expand by adding more facilities and building a bigger high school, but it needs to pass a referendum to do so. Live in Lewis is Coast TV News reporter Charles Reinert. Charles, that vote is going on right now.
Mallory, you can see the line of voters is going all the way down to the end of the block here at Cape Henlopen High School as they funnel into the polls. The district says it has been growing by 200 to 300 students every year for the past couple of years now, and it says no matter what the result of the vote is tonight, it is determined to find ways to expand. The future of Cape Henlopen School District up for vote tonight.
We haven't been a referendum in 6 years, and lots has happened in 6 years.
The district is looking to build on these 102 acres off Cedar Grove. Cape wants to build a new district office, a transportation facility, and an indoor pool. But that's only a portion of what the referendum would pay for. The district says the pool itself represents 10% of the tax increase, and 80% is school safety and staff salaries. If the referendum gets the green light from voters, it's 55 cents per $100 of property value. The district says for the average household, it's a $153 a year increase for year one. To figure out what your household tax increase would be, the district has a calculator on its website. Cape Henlopen School District Superintendent Bob Fulton says passing the referendum is critical to the district's future.
Crucial. It really is. You know, we have a lot of positive energy right now. We've been building that energy up. We have more and more families wanting to be here and students coming to our schools. We have the best staff in the state, and it's just the momentum is there, and we need to. It's crucial that we keep that going.
If the referendum does not pass, the district says it will, quote, face significant challenges in meeting the growing needs of our student population, end quote. Cape says the biggest piece of the plan that would be affected is not being able to move the district office, as it said it would make expanding the classroom space at Cape High much more difficult. Superintendent Fulton says that if this referendum passes tonight, the district's going to begin its planning phases, and if it doesn't, it's simply going to go back to the drawing board. Now, the polls here at Cape Henlopen High School and at Rehoboth Elementary and Mariner Middle Schools are open until 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have the poll results on CoastTV News at 11. I'm Charles Reiner in Lois, CoastTV News.
We have a lot more news to get to this evening.
A deli in Ocean City will soon be closing its doors. We caught up with the owner for the reason why.
And it looks like the winds will continue to wail for a while, and we're concerned about additional rain on top of the flooding that's already in place.
First, Art for Art, the Milton painting raising money to bring musicians to an upcoming community event. We're back in just 60 seconds.
Window World of Delmarva, quality and price that can't be beat. Get a 10-window package for only $121.81 per month.
No matter the size of the project, you can trust Window World of Delmarva to get it done right.
Remember, first to call, first to install.
Hi, I just had to tell you Valley Casino has partnered with Bet Rivers in Delaware.
We've got lots and lots of exciting slots and table games to play.
With really fast payouts and a rewards program you'll love!
Plus, with award-winning customer service, the excitement never stops. Is this awkward?
So get ready, casino fans. And Brittany. Bet Rivers and Valley Casino, together in Delaware. Download the app today.
Window World of Delmarva, quality and price that can't be beat. Get a premium Craftsman's entry door for only $64.99 per month.
No matter the size of the project, you can trust Window World of Delmarva to get it done right.
Call now for a free estimate.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
New music will fill the air above the Federal Street Field in Milton this spring. Organizers say it will feature rare and new performances.
A local artist is lending a paintbrush and selling his work to help pay for some of the musicians coming to town.
Bill Worrell started picturing this painting in 1978. He started working on it last fall just in time to include it in the Milton Art Guild's show called Inspired by a Song. His piece is named Conference of the Birds.
And it's a painting of Sam Rivers and Dave Holland, the musicians, with my dog laying in front.
Worrell is deeply rooted in modern jazz as a former presenter. He's raising money
Buy art to support art.
to bring a legendary jazz orchestra to town. Sun Ra Orchestra, conducted by Maestro Marshall Allen, is headlining the second annual Milton New Music and Wind Fest, among other musicians.
100 for Marshall is being created by TK Blue and Fontana Dixon, are both based here in Delaware, but they are very familiar with Marshall Allen's work, and also both play alto saxophone and flute. So they're developing a world premiere piece.
Worrell's painting has a price tag of $3,800. The festival will take over the Federal Street Field on June 1st with kites flying high, waving to the beat of the new music in Milton. The Inspired by a Song exhibit will be on display through April 23rd. Worrell says if he doesn't sell his painting, he'll take it back to a studio in Washington, D.C.
Well, we are continuing to keep a close eye on rain that's headed in our direction, especially in light of the fact we are now under a coastal flood warning. We'll detail all that information for you and the timing of this rain in a moment.
When you have damage caused by frozen or burst pipes, getting help fast is crucial. Royal Plus offers immediate and professional cleanup services if you should suffer damage from frozen pipes. Our water extraction and restoration repair technicians are experts at restoring any structure, location, or property type, and are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to respond to your water emergency. In disaster's wake, there's one call to make: Royal Plus. Find us at royalplus.com. We bring calm to the chaos.
Nearly 30 years ago, Mediacom was founded on a powerful idea:
bring cutting-edge broadband to underserved communities. From coast to coast, we connected 850,000 miles of fiber. Our team broke speed barriers, delivered 1 gig speeds to every customer, has led the way in developing a 10G platform, and now with Mediacom Mobile is offering the fastest, most reliable network on the go. Mediacom, decades of dedication, decades of delivery, decades ahead.
This is MJ Laughlin with IG Burton Chevrolet in Melford, Seaford, Lewis, and Berlin. Get into a new Silverado with finance rates as low as 0.9% or savings up to $10,000 off. Or take advantage of low APR offers like 1.9% financing with low monthly payments on Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Malibu. Check us out online at igburton.com or stop into any IG Burton Chevrolet location in Melford, Seaford, Lewis, or Berlin. Nobody beats a Burton deal. Nobody.
My daughter was beginning to struggle with substance use disorder. Felt like somebody cut my heart out. Her dream was to open a house to help other women recover. When we do our groundbreaking, I hear like at 6:30 in the morning. Nobody's here except one guy in a suit walking through the field. He says, Kevin, David Trone, nice to meet you. For every person who is suffering from substance use disorder, there is no bigger champion.
I'm David Trone, and I approve this message. In light of the coastal flood warnings that we have in place and the additional rain that's headed in our direction, I want to strongly encourage you to please take out your phone, put it on camera, and scan for the QR code so you can have the latest version of our app you're going to need in the next few days. Our dry tech camera showing that we're a bit cloudy and overcast for right now. Temperatures will stay in the 40s for tonight with cloudy skies. But our big story is what's happening with the potential of flooding in our area. We have several things to tell you about. High pressure is vacating the premises, and it's opening the door for more in the way of flooding, thanks to the winds at about 25 miles per hour out of the east, pushing more water along the shore. Not only for just Sussex, but all the way down towards from Ocean Pines all the way down towards Chincoteague. So that's one concern with flooding. Inland, we already have an active coastal flood advisory staying in effect until 2 o'clock for Sussex as well as Kent, in case you have folks that are up there. But then we also have that coastal flood advisory in effect for Berlin, Newark, Whaleyville, and those areas, West Ocean City. And this has just been added on top of that. We've gone from a coastal flood watch to a warning, meaning that we're talking about imminent flooding or that it's already happening for Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico. That's going to be a main concern until 9 o'clock. And the irony of that timing is we're looking for rain to hit after that supposedly expires. So don't be surprised if that keeps going. And that's the rain that we're concerned with heading in our direction. You see, we're in the 40s right now, so we don't have much in the way of thermodynamic energy for intense storms. But look at how this plays out. Wednesday morning, we're okay, but then by Wednesday afternoon, we get spotty showers. But Wednesday night, here comes a slice of rain that's going to continue to stay consistent throughout all of Thursday, possibly dumping over an inch of rain in most areas. Take a look at these latest runs. We're looking at over an inch and a half down towards the Berlin area. Here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling extended forecast. So now we have a first alert day for Thursday because of that wind and, of course, that extra rain.
Thank you, Paul. The Rosenfeld's Jewish Deli in Ocean City will be having its last summer season before closing shop. The deli originally almost closed 2 years ago because the landlord wanted to demolish the building. After that was called off. The deli stayed. But now owner Warren Rosenfeld says the building is just too old to keep running.
The health department will come in and say this needs to be fixed, so we fix that. They'll come in and say that needs to be fixed, so we'll fix that. But the building itself is an old building. It's hard to maintain. It's hard to repair. It's hard to keep as clean as the health department would love it to be, and as we would love it to be.
Rosenfeld's is closing in OC in September, but they'll still have 2 other locations in Rehoboth and South Bethany. We'll be right back.
When choosing windows and doors for your home, at Pella, it's your choice. We manufacture maintenance-free vinyl, fiberglass, and wood-clad windows and patio doors, all with lifetime warranties. High performance, energy efficient, and loaded with options to help make your house your home. Industry-first features and benefits make living easier and increase your home's value. Visit our Experience Center or call us today to schedule your free in-home consultation, where we bring the showroom to you.
Watch for the IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota. Wow.
Nice.
Thanks, bud.
Buy a sporty Camry right now with low 4.75 APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Are leaves and debris causing issues with your gutter? No need to risk climbing a shaky ladder ever again. We have the permanent solution. Gutter Helmet, America's #1 choice in gutter protection for over 40 years. Engineered to manage the heaviest of rainfalls, letting water flow freely. And the best part, never clean your gutters again, guaranteed. The lifetime warranty is transferable, so you can rest assured that you'll never have to replace your gutter helmet system. And right now, save 20% on your new gutters and Gutter Helmet. Call Gutter Helmet today for your free estimate.
Get live satellite and radar. Download the free CoastTV First Alert weather app. Sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
Next Jeopardy! Pick a card, any card. These champs hope for a winning hand.
10,000. It's a big wager.
Tuesday at 7:30 on CoastTV.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota. So, which one do you want?
This one.
Wow.
Right now, get low APR financing on a stylish new Corolla sedan or hatchback. Toyota, let's go places.
Get ready for 4 days of fun in the sun at SpringFest. Enjoy amazing food, live entertainment, unique artisan products, and more. With over 200 artisan vendors, local food, and enhanced selections of beer and wine, don't miss this free event located at the Ocean City Inlet from May 2nd through the 5th. SpringFest features 2 stages and more than 30 live performances, including headliners, The Olivia Show, a tribute to Olivia Newton-John, country music sensation Lauren Elena, and alternative rock band Everclear. Don't miss out. Get all the details at ococean.com/SpringFest.
WRDE First Alert Weather, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland.
Stay updated with all of our latest warnings, courtesy of our line, sponsored by Baird, Mandelis, Brockstedt, and Federico. Right now, we are concerned about the possibility of flooding throughout the area. A warning in effect for Dorchester, Somerset, and Wacomico. Here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Because of the rain and the winds that we're talking about, we're now issuing a first alert day for Thursday, and that's separate from the flooding that we already have going on in our area.
Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11.
Have a great evening.